Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Supergirl Season 3. Now this is going to be my trailer breakdown for the second episode of Supergirl Season 3, otherwise entitled Triggers. So yeah, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch the trailer.
She hit 2 banks back to back.
According to reports, she walked right in the front door.
Put the bag down.
She's more powerful than any psychic I've ever encountered.
She's targeting people's fear.
What brought the girl of steel to her knees? Fear's a powerful tool.
Supergirl, all new episode Monday at 8, 7 Central on the CW.
So the first episode of Supergirl Season 3 was really good, had a solid start to the season. I thought it did everything it needed to do, had the family aspect, which I think they really needed to focus on heading into this season, because I do think it's going to be a very important thing throughout the season. And it also left on that rain cliffhanger right at the end, which I really did enjoy, and I'm excited to see what they do with that going forward in the season. Now quickly, do leave any questions in the comments section down below regarding episode 1 or 2, going by anything from the trailer, because I will be doing the big sort of Arrowverse Q&A on Mondays Australian time, so we'll pick a handful of questions regarding Supergirl from this trailer breakdown video. So yeah, if you are confused about anything from episode 1 or heading into episode 2, please leave those questions in the comments section down below. Now before we break down the trailer, we will go over the synopsis as we usually do, but obviously be sure to leave comments with thoughts on the trailer as well along with those questions, and also be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Psi, a thief with psychic powers, attacks National City. Able to immobilize people by tapping into their worst fears, Psi proves a formidable opponent for Supergirl. Meanwhile, James and Lena are at an impasse and Samantha starts her new job at Elcor. So the trailer kicks off with us seeing Psi in all of that black leather, a villain's go-to clothing by the looks of it, using her powers in order to rob banks and just get whatever she wants to get, I guess. As John Jones does say, she walked right through the front door without a care in the world and just robbed not only one bank, but 2 banks back to back. You can see here when she is in the vault of one of the 2 banks that she's robbed that she is confronted by none other than Supergirl herself, but in the next shot she is sort of giggling away. So even at this point she knows that not even Supergirl will be able to resist her psychic abilities. However, it wouldn't surprise me if this arrogance from Psi is what eventually leads to her downfall. Never get too cocky, kids, can always come back around and hurt you. Psi will be targeting people's fears, as the synopsis does say throughout this episode, which I do think is a pretty sick concept to bring into the episode. We do see a few people cowering on the floor, which is expected when someone is sort of scared and fearful. It's a normal response. But we do see an example of this fear-inducing that Psi inflicts on people when we see this dude in some form of machinery, possibly like a bulldozer or something similar. But yeah, this dude obviously has a fear of snakes. Some of you might have put the similarities together between Scarecrow from Gotham and his fear toxin and Psi's abilities, which I think is okay. Scarecrow's fear toxin and Psi's abilities work a little bit differently to one another. I'm just looking forward to seeing what fears people have in this episode. As I said, we had that guy seeing a snake, so you would expect spiders and other insects like that, maybe something to do with heights, maybe some werewolves and zombies. The possibilities are endless when you think about it when it comes to people's fears. Now, throughout this trailer, we do see Supergirl sort of struggling, so you would expect that Supergirl's going to be having some, fear visions as well. So it's very interesting to see what she will be having in regards to fear visions throughout this episode. It could have something to do with Mon-El, it could have something to do with her mother or something, because we know that she's been having some weird sort of dream visions about Mon-El and her mother as well. Or she could possibly have some fear visions about Rain, which would be pretty interesting. It would be a bit random because she's never encountered Rain before, but maybe the fear visions also cause sort of a nightmare of sorts, which they could bring Rain into the fold. But I think if they did any fear visions, it might involve Mon-El, her mother, or maybe just maybe her sister as well, stuff to do with her family. But speaking of Rain, we do see Samantha briefly in the trailer when a wrecking ball, no, not that Miley Cyrus song, an actual wrecking ball drops down from above. It possibly could have been done by the guy who was seeing snakes, so that could have been the machinery that he was operating, like a wrecking ball sort of crane thing, so maybe that's what causes it. Anyway, we see her dropping down and she raises her arm to protect herself and what looks like to be her daughter Ruby. I'm not 100% sure if it is her daughter Ruby, but you would have to think it is just because, well, it's her daughter, she's probably hanging out with her. But anyway, in the last episode, we did see Samantha get super strength all of a sudden when Ruby was trapped underneath a support beam, I think it was, which she also crushed part of it as well. Now it does seem she will do the same here, save herself and her daughter through her newly discovered powers. If this is the case, I hope it doesn't happen again for a while, as it would just get repetitive and a bit old if they did it every episode. Like, oh, Samantha and her daughter are in trouble, or her daughter's in trouble, and Samantha uses her newly found abilities to save them. It would get old very quickly. Like, I think seeing it in this episode would be pretty old as well. However, we do see Supergirl fly into a scene which looks like it could be the exact same one where Samantha and Ruby are in this shot. So Supergirl could be the one to save them instead of like, you know, Samantha using her new powers. I'm hoping they take their time with Samantha's transformation into Rain, as I do feel it could be a really good storyline for this season of Supergirl. Hopefully she does get similar nightmares to what we saw at the end of episode 1, and it just sort of dawns on her, and then slowly, you know, her life just turns to crap and she becomes this villain. As I said in my last episode, I'm expecting her daughter Ruby to die. It just matters when that happens. I think they might hopefully leave that till maybe like episode 6 or 7, or possibly even the mid-season finale, and that's where, you know, Samantha's triggered enough that she becomes Rain. And the last thing to go over from this trailer, we do see John Jones struggling with his psychic powers on, you would have to think, Psi. Now, I think one cool thing they could do with this is because, you know, Psi is so powerful that when John tries to like read her mind, he gets fear visions of his own through this. Now, we do know that Martian, or John Jones, might I say, or Martian Manhunter, is meant to have scenes with his father in this season. I don't know if it necessarily, this would cause those like scenes between them, because I think that's meant to be more of a happy thing throughout this season with John Jones. So I think this might be, you know, triggering some stuff back to Mars when he was there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there with John Jones, and it'd be pretty cool if he got like worse visions because he was trying to get into Psi's brain. So maybe John Jones should just be a bit careful when he uses his powers on other people. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As I said, do leave any questions that you have in regards to episode 1 or heading into episode 2 of Supergirl, and they could appear in that video I'll do the day before Supergirl. That's when that Q&A comes out. If you just want to get your bearings right, whenever Supergirl's on, it comes out the day before that. So mark that down in your diaries if you want to. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like on it to show your support for the videos, obviously, and the channel as a whole. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.